What are good books for learning perfumery?
What is a trigeminal effect?
What are some good perfumery materials for making the vanilla ice cream accord?
Let's talk about these.
Welcome to the Scentcast, your fragrant companion in the world of perfumery.
We're your hosts, Christie
And Deshawn, two perfumers, two friends here to share everything we love about the art of perfumery.
Whether you're just starting out
or would like to improve your perfumery skills, this podcast is for you.
So tune in while you dilute, organize your materials, or simply dream in scent.
Let's explore materials, methods, perfumery tips and tricks, and everything that inspires us to perfume together.
This is the Scentcast.
Let's perfume! Welcome back to the Scentcast. Today, we are starting a new type of episode. Q&A sessions where Christie and I answer your perfumery-related questions. We've received them through our YouTube channel, by email, and from our Discord group.
The way we're going to do this is simple. We'll take turns answering. One question goes to me, the next to Dushan, then back to me, and so on. That way you'll get a mix of insights and perspectives.
And honestly, we're really excited about these because we love when the community drives the conversation. So let's get into it. Our first question comes from Carlos D. He asks, honest question, is making perfume actually easy? Or is it one of those things that seems easy, but really isn't?
Carlos, that is a terrific question. It does seem easy in the beginning when you're just looking into, I think I could do this. And the answer is kind of difficult. I wouldn't say that making perfume is easy, but it can be simple and it can be complex. And that just really leaves you to decide what you want to do. Do you want to study deeper? Do you want to study molecules and learn more of the chemistry aspect? Or would you be happy just using notes and blending a few things? I think for me personally, when I started purchasing things that I didn't even know what they were. I just heard that they smelled good or that they were part of another fragrance that I liked. If I were to recommend anything to somebody starting, I would say number one, start small. Number two, learn how to blend a few things, a few safe things. You could purchase notes, bases, accords, or individual molecules. Just start small with those things. Once you do that, you're going to see quickly if you want to continue and learn more and go to the more complex study of it, or if you're happy with just the simple side of things. I hope that helps you, Carlos. Question number 2 comes from Emily M. Hi, quick question. Are synthetic aroma chemicals different from the fragrance oils people use in making perfumes, candles, and soaps? Thanks.
Hi, Emily. If we want to give a simple answer, then yeah, synthetic aroma chemicals are different from fragrance oils. The main difference is complexity. So if by fragrance oils we're referring to fragrance concentrates, those would be mixtures of odoriferous substances. And as such, they typically include aroma chemicals, which can be synthetic, natural, or often a combination of both. They could also contain natural materials, such as essential oils, absolutes, resinoids, CO2 extracts, and some may include diluents and other raw materials or additives, depending, of course, on the perfumer, the manufacturer, and intended end product. That said, fragrance concentrates are in most cases more complex than individual aroma chemicals. There are exceptions, of course. Some companies may use a single aroma chemical as a fragrance concentrate. For example, molecule O1. So based off of our knowledge, molecule O1 just contains one singular molecule for its fragrance concentrate, iso-E super, or to be more specific, iso-G super. It's also important to mention that fragrance concentrates can be formulated for specific product categories. A concentrate designed for fine fragrance, for instance, may contain raw materials that aren't compatible with other products like candles or soaps. Just to give you an example, if a fragrance concentrate contains DPG or dipropylene glycol, a very popular diluent used in fine fragrance, it may not be ideal for candles or lye soap. DPG can affect burn quality in candles, what we colloquially say it could clog the wicks, and may interfere with saponification process in soap, which could alter texture or cause uneven results, which is what we colloquially say it would seize the soap. Also, while we are at it, I just want to mention that regulations matter too. Just to give you an example, if restrictions are way stricter for leave-on products such as fine fragrance, since they contact the skin, or as the name says, it's left on the skin, compared to candles or other non-skin contact products. Hopefully that helps. Nina L wants to know, could you recommend any good books for learning perfumery? I'd love to dive deeper into it.
Nina, I love that question because I think that was the first question I wanted it answered after I saw my first video and thought, well, I think I want to learn more about this subject. And where do you go to get some information that is actually helpful? So I started with The Alchemy of Scent by Jean-Claude Ellena. That is a beginner overview, just flyover of what it means to be a perfumer and what things are used and just how the whole system works. After that, I went to the big book of perfume from Nez Culture. That's Nez Culture. That book went from formulation all the way through boxing and distribution. It was fabulous, great illustrations as well. Those are my top two beginning book recommendations. And then finally, if you're beyond that, I'm not sure where you're at in your perfumery journey, but if you're beyond those two, I would recommend Perfumery Practices and Principles by Robert Calvin and J. Stefan Jelinek. Those are what I'd start with. If you have any more questions about books, come on back, ask us more. We'll continue from there. Could you explain the difference between something like cedrol, cedarwood essential oil, and a cedarwood accord? I get a bit lost with how they're related. That's from James K.
Hi, James. That is a great question, and I can see how it can be confusing, right? Well, let's figure this one out together. So, cedrol is a single naturally occurring molecule found in some types of cedarwood essential oils. For example, cedarwood oil Virginia, cedarwood oil Texas, cedarwood oil China. It has woody, slightly sweet and dry character. However, its facets are not very complex. It's just one molecule. So think of it as one building block of the cedarwood scent. Usually it is extracted from cedarwood oils, and it can be purchased as individual aroma chemical. Cedarwood essential oil, on the other hand, it's a natural extract obtained from the wood itself through the steam distillation. So think of it as a very complex mixture with many, many, many molecules, which again, some may include the cedrol we mentioned, that together they create this full aroma of cedarwood. A cedarwood accord is a perfumer's artistic recreation of cedarwood scent. So instead of using just the natural oil, some perfumers opt to build their own materials or mixtures from different perfumery raw materials, such as aroma chemicals, naturals, etc. The great thing about it is that perfumers get to choose which materials they want to use in order to capture, emphasize, or even reinterpret the cedarwood impression. This gives the perfumer control, consistency, and it really allows them to shape the note in various creative ways. Just to give you an example, perfumers can make the cedarwood accord that is creamier, drier, sweeter, smokier, etc., than its natural counterpart. That's a great power if you think about it. So, to sum it up, you can think of cedral as a singular molecule. Cedarwood essential oil as the whole natural material extracted from natural sources, and a cedarwood accord as a crafted interpretation. All right, Christie, I have a great question for you. I feel like this is going to be your favorite one. Robin R asked if I use It's No Secret in different perfume formulations, will they all smell alike?
I love this question. You know, it's my favorite question, and anyone who has watched the videos that we talk about know that I love to include It's No Secret in my formulas. And first and foremost, I want to say that if you don't know what It's No Secret is, it is a blend of ethylene brassylate, which is a musk, Isoe super, and hedione. Those three things in basically equal parts is what It's No Secret is. So when we refer to that, that's what we're referring to. Using It's No Secret, I've done it incorrectly and correctly. So I know what you're talking about, Robin. I have used too much and made my perfume dry down so quickly to just It's No Secret. And I've used too little and had my fragrance just float away within an hour's time. So what I would say is this: using It's No Secret doesn't mean that everything you make will smell like it. Although if you don't like the smell of It's No Secret, you probably don't want to use it. You will need to have some other base note to have a formula that seamlessly connects one material to another. I still like to refer to It's No Secret as what blends materials together. So here's my great example. It's a foodie example. So say you put your fresh fruit, your Greek yogurt, and some chia seeds together in your blender. Those represent your fragrance materials. Those are your primary ones. Now you need to add some liquid, maybe water, maybe milk, maybe juice. That's what It's No Secret is. You can add a little, you can add a lot. How much you add determines how it will affect your blend. That's the best way that I can describe it. I hope that makes sense to you, Robin. Dushan, you mentioned the trigeminal nerve and the trigeminal effect before. What exactly does that mean in perfumery? And that comes from Sophia M.
Hi, Sophia. That's a good catch. So, in layman terms, the trigeminal nerve is this major nerve that is located in the face. Its branches, they reach the eyes, nose, and mouth. So besides touch and temperature, it also responds to certain sensations from smell and taste. Think about when you take a sniff of really strong vinegar or wasabi. It's not just the smell. You instantly feel that sharp, tingling kick in your nose or even behind your eyes. That sensation? That's your trigeminal nerve jumping in and reacting, not just your sense of smell. So how does this relate to perfumery, you might ask? Well, in perfumery, when we talk about a trigeminal effect, we mean that a material doesn't just register as a scent. It also creates a specific physical sensation. For example, peppermint essential oil or spearmint essential oil, they can trigger a cool, tingly feeling in your olfactory bulb, while black pepper essential oil, it can give you a warming or prickly effect. So naturally, this is something perfumers want to use to their benefit for greater realism of the accords or perfumes they're formulating. Hope that helps. Christy, we have Jan CB's question. And they said, hello. What is the best base to get if I want to make perfumes? I'm trying to make some perfume, eau de parfum, and I want to purchase a base to make it like perfumer's alcohol.
Let me tell you, I have had such a great time over the years using solid bases, oils, and perfumer's alcohol. And personally, I've settled on perfumer's alcohol, which what I use is 200 proof SDA 40B. That is what I enjoy most. But in the past, I have done a blend of solid perfumery wax that consisted of different things as I tinkered around with them, from mango butter, shea butter, beeswax. I've used a lot of different things to come up to a formula that would be great on the skin. Also, fractionated coconut oil if you wanted to do roller balls of fragrances. And the difference that I've learned over the years, really more than anything, is projection. How far do you want that particular fragrance to project? And I will say, if you put it in oil, it has a very close personal scent. If you are a nurse, if you're someone who is not supposed to wear fragrance, an oil-based perfume is best. If you want to continue with a fragrance that you want everybody to smell, you can tinker with the perfumer's alcohol. And that is, to me, what the standard industry, when you go shopping and purchase things, that's what you're going to find. That's what's going to give you that projection so that people around you can smell it as well. I hope that helps. Okay, next question. I really want to make a vanilla ice cream fragrance. Besides vanilla absolute or vanillin, are there any other materials I should consider using? From Jordan L.
No, that is a fun project. It's also a great question because the vanilla absolute you mentioned, Jordan, that can be very pricey. All right, so the first material that comes to my mind, since you mentioned vanillin, is ethyl vanillin. It is sweeter and creamier than vanillin. Now, personally, it really reminds me of the vanilla nuance in the smell of a vanilla ice cream. I know, it's a personal scent memory of mine, so I would definitely consider potentially using that. Now, just using ethyl vanillin and vanillin might not be enough. In order to obtain more realistic vanilla ice cream note, you might want to consider adding some depth. You can start by thinking, all right, what is vanilla ice cream? It's vanilla milk sugar mixture that is frozen, right? That being said, great choice would potentially be using some lactones. Some of the lactones are used to add creamy and milky nuances that can help with recreating that smooth dairy-like texture. Some of the popular lactones, for example, are gamma-decalactone or delta-nonylactone, and etc. That being said, you do want to look into different ones, as they have other nuances beside their milky lactonic facets. By discovering different ones is how you can find the perfect ones that will work with your formula and work to your benefits. If you want to add the depth without using the vanilla absolute, you might want to consider coumarin. It is this aroma chemical that has warm and sweet nuances, and it is reminiscent of the tonka beans only because it is a predominant constituent of the tonka bean absolute, but more affordable. What it can do is it can deepen or enrich other typical vanilla type of materials in your composition. However, it is important to mention that it is restricted by IFRA. And it has potential effects on the liver when absorbed in high concentrations, so you do want to do your due diligence and research more about its safety and use before you start using it. Great news though, there is a great alternative to coumarin. It's called bicyclononylactone. I know, it's a mouthful, right? But it provides both lactonic creaminess and almost tonka-like facets, and the great thing about it is that at the moment of the recording of this episode, it is without the same restrictions as coumarin. So, definitely worth checking out. An absolute staple when creating an ice cream fragrance, in my humble opinion, would be Eyes of Beautiful by Givaudan. It is this amazing aroma chemical with a rich, buttery gourmand nuances, and it will likely enhance the vanilla cream impression. It's one of those materials that you fall in love with when you smell it for the first time. I mean, especially if you enjoy gourmand fragrances. So if you ask me, this one is a must-have. Another type of aroma chemicals you might want to consider using would be the synthetic musks in order to smooth and round out the composition to give it a fluffy, creamy dry down. So great choices for this would be ethylene brassylate because it has powdery, sweet, floral, ambrette, and vanilla nuances. Or one of Christie's and my favorite musks, Nepalva by IFF. It's this beautiful mixture that has sweet, mealy, if that makes any sense, nuances with the notes of vanilla. I find it particularly goes well in gourmand compositions and with other materials with the vanilla nuances. Now, other materials that might be worth mentioning within this category of gourmand materials might be Heliotrope XN by IFF, which is my favorite heliotropin replacer. It has soft almond heliotrope sweetness, and what it can do, it might add a powdery and comforting tone. Now, if you're looking for caramel gourmand touches, look no further from ethyl maltol. Just a hint of this creates that sugary dessert-like sweetness. But be very careful, as this material is notorious for taking over the composition after some maturing, so you want to dose it carefully. Practice makes perfect. There you go. Now, I'm absolutely aware that there are many, many other gourmand materials out there, but these are just some of the ones you might want to explore or start working with. And Jordan, do let us know how the project goes. We would love to know.
That was a lot of fun. We loved diving into your questions, and we hope our answers gave you something useful, inspiring, or at least entertaining to take away.
And remember, this is just the beginning. If you got more questions you'd like us to cover in the future Q&A episode, let us know. You can drop them in the comments right here on this video, post them in our Discord group, or send them by email.
All the info you need, including the Discord invite link and our email address, will be in the description of this video. So don't be shy, ask away, and who knows, your question might be featured in the next Scentcast Q&A.
Thanks for tuning in and for sending in your questions. We'll catch you on the next one. Bye!
Bye!